Hi guys, Mr. Who's the Boss here, and in this video we're talking about Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. So I'm sure you've heard loads about this game, I certainly have, and most of it sucks. So a lot of people have just said how bad this game is, how repetitive it is, and how unlike Monster Hunter it truly turned out to be. So in this video, this is kind of like more of a first impressions kind of thing. I will hopefully be able to do a full review, but that'll be a while in the future because this is a very deep game, and even though it may not be the best, it's still going to take a long time to actually get to grips with everything on offer here. So one of the biggest complaints of Ragnarok Odyssey and Ragnarok Odyssey Ace was the grinding system. So the whole RPG system is inherently flawed because you can't actually level up in the typical manner. So, if you constantly fight enemies, you're not actually earning XP to level up, and your character does not necessarily become stronger by doing this. The actual way you improve is by collecting cards, and because of their sort of randomly generated nature, this can become quite frustrating, and you can go through a long time of play without actually making any real progress. So I have to say, there's an awful lot of talking here, and I really can't be dealing with that right now. So I'm just going to skip that and jump straight into the first quest. So it says that to complete it I have to hunt 10 pouring. Now I'm going to go ahead and guess that's pretty straightforward. And to be honest, I've actually heard the difficulty curve on this game is kind of steep, which tends to be the case with JRPGs. But to be honest, I'm more than up for a game with high difficulty. I mean, if anything, I actually think it improves the whole experience. I mean, I've been really wanting a good Monster Hunter clone, and I know Ragnarok Odyssey has not been the best rated, but it was on a sale, and on top of that this is the Ace version, which is supposed to be significantly better than the normal game, so, for about £10 I thought I'd give it a try. And so as you can see, it also has a lock-on system, which is unlike games like Monster Hunter, and I suppose it makes it appeal to a slightly less hardcore audience, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So on the visual front, I have to say I'm impressed. It seems to be running at native resolution, if not quite close, and the visuals are pretty much everything I was hoping they'd be. To be honest, this is exactly what I imagined Monster Hunter would look like if it ever did come to the Vita. So yeah, this is actually very impressive. I mean, clearly this is no Killzone Mercenary, but at the same time, it's better than a lot of games I've seen. The thing I'm more pleased about though is the solid frame rate, and I hope this is consistent throughout the game, but at least at the minute, that is a very good sign. I mean, the frame rate is the thing that's been killing most Vita titles. Now another thing to note is the soundtrack. I actually really like it, so you can tell that a lot of effort has actually been put into this, not just in the missions but also in the hometown. So I'm yet to sort of find out whether or not this gets quite repetitive, but at the minute, colour me impressed. I'm also really liking the combat. So again, if you're used to Monster Hunter where you've got sort of 3 or 4 different attacks per weapon, this thing actually adds a whole flurry of combinations. On top of that, we've got knockback and launch attacks, which I'm yet to find out, but I'm guessing they actually add another layer into the combat experience. Now I'm also guessing that further on is going to be more different elements which actually make it quite a complex system. And I mean, already, even at the very basic level, having just started the game, I'm actually really liking the combat. I think that, I like how the numbers appear, showing you the amount of damage you're doing. And to be honest, I think it feels overall more responsive than a battle system like that on Monster Hunter, because firstly it feels much more satisfying when you hit an enemy. You can really feel that sort of attack. And on Monster Hunter, a lot of the time you're left wondering whether you actually made contact, whether you're actually doing damage, or whether you're just sort of bouncing off the armor and really not making a difference. So, to be honest, yeah, I actually like this. Now, you can probably tell already, but this game has more of an emphasis on sort of fantasy elements than games like Monster Hunter and Toukiden. So basically, this is sort of like a more airy-fairy kind of game, which is not a bad or good thing. It just changes the sort of emphasis and role. Like, for example, this is the kind of game where instead of just seeing straight up normal dragons, you're probably more likely to see unicorns and fairies and all that kind of stuff, which is cool in its own way. Now another thing which is quite interesting to note is that the actual health bar and stamina bar are exactly replicating those of Monster Hunter. On top of that, we've actually got the map in pretty much exactly the same location, and there's the bottom menu with the items to choose from, and so, it's very clear where this game's roots are. But don't forget, compared to any Monster Hunter game, this one also has the advantage of full trophy support, and there is a platinum trophy, which is to some a huge benefit, and to others just a small one. Anyway guys, that's it from me for now. That's my first impressions gameplay of Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. So thanks for watching, please give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe for more.